Hello. Choreography is dead. I studied it, spent 16 grand, and the opposite of none the wiser, all the wiser. Not because of being the general contentment of a content creator, but because I understand the importance of what filmmakers call and film investors call budget value, or so when you bankroll, when you slate, when you have a premiere, a world premiere, what the term in Hollywood or in Hollywood land, is named after a plant called the Holly Grove, which is strange because groves usually would precede the word, but because it's a feminine, starts with a female word. It starts with the name of a female. Obviously, they have to change the rules because Mama Warbucks and whatnot. So sorry, the air vents are so loud. That's another thing I learned as a broadcaster. But the word is it's another word for CGI when it starts with the C. Your not your net worth, but your budget value, because no one's gonna watch a movie on a shoestring budget. The title of this video will be the word that I'm talking about. It'll come to me. It always happens. There was a new on HuffPost on the Face homepage. They say how FaceTiming just completely zaps or saps. I'm not sure if it's with the Z or an S. But the reason why I'm saying this is because no one's gonna watch this video other than you. But if you want to be involved in security, which is what I am doing, there's a shirt right behind me here, and then a shirt right here. They're really a great outfit because I'm here at work right now. I don't have my outfit on because it's so hot. It's only 81, but I don't want to wear my uniform and then sweat and then have this tug of war with fabrics where I'm doing laundry and then wearing it and then being mad that I did laundry. Don't you hate that feeling? Which is why I recently quoted in my Instagram Burnt Reynolds. I call him Burnt Reynolds just to be a prick. I don't think he's dead, but it's just because it's so hard to distinguish him from Tom Selleck. It's just like, dude, it's the same frickin' person. God dang it pisses me off when they do that. When Hollywood creates their own doppelganger, it's like, dude, how do you tell a difference? I have no idea. But in Stripteased, Tom Selleck is a pimp. Burnt Reynolds is a pimp. And he's a hairy guy like me. Both of them are. And Burnt Reynolds says to Demi Moore right after she had plastic surgery, that was the big ticket seller, was, does she have fake boobs? Because they have to be, but because the whole idea behind bras is that it's for support. So why are they called support bras? It's like, why are we selling, which is, I'm so happy Victoria's Secret's bank filing for bankruptcy is because of these double entendres. It's like, you can't call it a support bra because that's what it's there for. But anyway, so Burnt Reynolds tells Demi Moore that he made love to her lint, and she gets so irritated for no reason, irrigated or whatever. She starts kind of steaming at all ends, and I think that's a nice compliment personally. I made love to your lint. Like, that's like the coolest. I don't know how it's humanly feasible. I told a woman, an Indian not the Indian that's native, but the Indian from India. I told her she's devastatingly gorgeous and she wants me to put my head in the oven. And that was what she told me was the greatest compliment she's ever heard. She was pretty much the cream of the crop when it came to my Catholic school, which is saying a lot because, the Catholic school girl, it's like, whoa, that's like the top rung of the ladder, the cream of the crop, or the creme of the crop. I don't know, how do you say it? Is it creme? I think creme, I don't think that's an English word. So yeah, if you want, the reason why I'm making this video, to get to my point, is that choreography is not dead. I am choreographing right now as we speak. Choreographing, being a choreographer maybe is the right use of the transitive verbs. So check me out on my Amazon. The thing is that I always change the author's name to kind of just be cool. I have Ram Dizzle, I have Ram XL, and I have R Swice. But I also have a couple more just because it's funner, I just published on Amazon Inexorably Roanoke, which is what I presumably thought if... Let me tell you the story behind that title, okay? I had a dream. I was in Asgard playing cards. It was almost as if we were pulling straws, but we're doing it with cards. And we were saying, okay, first person to get a king rules our kingdom. But it wasn't Asgard. And the king ended up landing on me, and I ended up getting the blessings of Thor and his family. I don't think they're Asgardians. So that's how I thought of the title, because I was able to wield the hammer, so to speak. So I'm Inexorably Roanoke. And so Amazon said, no, I published it. Someone said they bought it. And I'm a little bit hurt because Amazon said that they weren't able to go through, greenlight the publication, because they said one of the letters can't be read. And I said, yeah, because that the thing is that it's a machine and they don't reply. But I was saying that's the idea behind the title, is that so you're reading it and you just kind of have to kind of turn it and be able to read it. And so I went through it again. The same thing had happened when I published my last, the COVID-19 book, novel. It's kind of a double entendre there because it's called The Novel Virus, and I wrote a novel about it. They said on page 57 there was an image, and that it wasn't bleeding, because I put not bleeding. I always kind of change. Sometimes I put matted glossy, which is really why I'm making this video, is because to be able to consummate followers or to be able to get traction is because, security is great. You get to be a silver lining. You get to be an actual sliver among the community pipeline, among communal. That's the thing, is that, I love that word, pipeline, is because they're saying, there's not so much of a separation between church and state. If you have somebody, like me doing SOS, and I understand that before science and religion, the combination of those two, the duality is knowledge. I mean, this is just classical Greece, and which is pretty much the Mediterranean, more or less. I mean, because it's in the basin, the Greek islands, like Athens and Apollonia, and so before money, before church and state, the separation of church and state, they had an affinity for numbers, and they thought that was how we attained divination. And so then we separated church and state, and we thought that, hey, there's knowledge and then there's science, and that's, how they say there's chemistry. You have chemistry between people. So church and state, it's a very fine it's not even a line. It's more of you're a contortionist as a trapeze artist at the same time. So it's like you're putting your head up your ass while you do the splits, which is impossible, right? So, but hopefully people don't think I'm crazy. But yeah, ultimately, science and religion that proceeded, not preceded, Western civilization. So now that we're at that, I think that we're at that bottleneck again right now, where we're just like, you know what, Jesus Christ has two names, fuck that guy. Because that's another thing, is that they say he's posthumous, but I'm thinking that he was pre-hummus, because he knew that when the Jews pulled his opened his grave, that he wouldn't be there, because that was the magic behind JC, and that's how he had people listening to him. And that's how the thing is that if he was a Jew and he was killed by Jews, then and history was written by those who, without discourse and artistic license, that was the opening line in Braveheart, then how do we know that, first of all, he's not a Vitruvian? Because if Jesus was a Vitruvian, that means that he can come back several times in different formations. But then I just read, and not a lot of people know this, Catholicism is actually people that go to church on Sundays. So I was raised Catholic. Unfortunately, like Rosie Perez, who I'm pretty sure is the epitome of just... That's the thing, is that, if you ever open a garbage can, even if it's brand new, you leave it, Rosie Perez being the garbage can, it's fine, But then the maggot starts becoming flies and saying, oh, I'm beautiful. I'm a beautiful fucking fly. It's like, no, dude, we all know you're a maggot, Rosie Perez is a perfect example. Because she was in this new Netflix special where she says, oh, I represent Puerto Rico. It's like, dude, have you haven't even been there? I don't understand this, this politicking where people that are famous are allowed to get away with it, and then people that actually voted for Trump have a guilty conscience. How is that? How are we not turning the dial on this and saying, this isn't animosity. We're not just getting mad. Being a politician isn't just getting mad at people with money. That's not the idea about being... And it's not funny to just say, oh yeah, all of them are sexual fiends. Because then, automatically if you vote, then you're basically on Andy's list from off the bat. If you vote for Biden, if you vote Trump, either way, it's not a woman that you're voting for. And it's just like, have you seen Watchmen? Because what they say is that if we have a female ruler, that it's just going to be hubris. Because ultimately what Trump is doing, I think personally, is that he is the nest egg inside of our home. He does strip us down to our bare maximum, which is certainly a word, because Teddy, your teddy bear, he doesn't have a why. If you've seen the movie, Teddy is somebody that gets to go from reality to fantasy. And technically all men do, because first of all, for me as a security guard, I understand. Well, my company was on TV, and somebody recently complained that one of the guards stole a bike because it's public property and he was allowed to. And cops get the brunt. They say that shafts are smooth, and that's why, Shaft is a police officer, but we bear the brunt, and the brunt being the shaft, So, now I kind of understand why the Joker said your balls fall off, because I never heard that saying before, because I studied it, and what the search engine produced as a result was using rubber bands. Putting a rubber band around your balls, and if you go to sleep just for one night, because they say asphyxiation, like a lot of these famous people die from, they hang themselves and they stroke themselves, sexual asphyxiation. And I guess that's kind of the finish line, where Robin Williams did, which is really creepy if you think about it. And the guy from Kill Bill, and so on and so forth. But I think, and they say Robert De Niro likes to shit on people, and that was in a Woody Allen movie. Allegedly, he banged his daughter, which the thing is that maybe he's not being prosecuted because she did approach him, because that was in a movie recently with Anna Kendrick, where Blake Lively kind of cheers her on, or cheerleads her, and their excuse was, well, it was only a half brother, which I don't understand. He means stepbrother, I think that's what they're saying, or brother-in-law. I don't know what they're going for there. But yeah, so I would think the finish line would be what the Joker was saying, which is your balls falling off, and the reason why, the way that you do that is not getting it on with another man, because comedians, first of all, there is no median. There's only an ends to a means. But a lot of male comedians, they don't allow the word comedian, and that's because their balls have fell off. And the reason, and the way that we do that is that allegedly, if you put a rubber band around your testes, around your scrotum, and you fall asleep, then you'll wake up and you won't have balls. So anyway, okay, thank you for listening.